Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. My name is David Carter. I sometimes go by Dave. Today, I wanted to speak a bit about my life and everything so far. I have met a Uber driver the other day who said that I should start doing like podcasts or just some inspirational like videos or dialogue, whatever you want to call them. So I figured I'd start making these. Once I have my actual microphone set up, it'll be a lot better sounding. This is just a gaming headset that I'm using. It's a Corsair. But besides that, so I wanted to start making these videos. So a little bit about me. I am the oldest of a family of two other brothers and a sister. Um, my mom and dad were with us for the majority of our lives. Um, let me cut it back. Let me come back around. Sorry. I'm gonna make sure I'm not gonna delete anything. This is just all raw. So a little bit about me is I have a rare skin disorder called eosinophilic fasciitis. It is basically where the fascia under your skin kind of eats away at your muscles and other tissues. So I look skinnier than normal. I also have scoliosis, so that's an issue. Um, but I also have two below the knee amputations, but I'll get to that at some point. But first, so needless to say, when I had this skin disorder and stuff, I had chronic wounds that happened to appear on my feet. Um, Unfortunately, those had became wounds, and I was still in like middle school and high school when this happened. I was like 10 years old, and because of the wounds, sometimes it would smell. And so I always got picked on at school for being a quote unquote scumbag because of the way I smelled, even though I took a shower all the time. So that wasn't very a great experience being picked on because of quote unquote because I smelled, which was because of my feet. Um, but not only that, because of my skin disorder, I was considered disabled. I still am considered disabled, but I don't think that really, I don't know. I personally think obviously I'm disabled just because of these disabilities, but mentally I'm pretty good in check. So because of these issues, I got picked on a lot at school by certain people. I did have quite a bit of different people or other my friends and family who helped me through that situation. That was one of the darker times of my life. I actually contemplated suicide quite a bit. I never followed through. I never did anything actually like I never actually cut myself or anything. I'm just contemplated a lot in my head. Um, it was very I was depressed for most of my life. I had asthma for that as well. And it just overall middle school and even beginning of high school was not a good time to be me. Um, but on top of that, when I was about 14, still in, I think it was still beginning of high school, end of middle school, something like that. My mom had an accident and she ended up dying of a seizure or heart attack. I forget what it was. I never got the story straight, but she unfortunately passed. I'm still dealing with that a lot. I'm 31 now, so that just goes to tell you something. Every time I think about it, I just well up. I mean, I'm the first son, so I'm very sensitive, and I just can't help it. But whatever. And because of that, or not because of that, but my dad, he was also, I don't want to call him a drunk, but he definitely drank a lot. I guess he was a drunk. He, after she passed, he just went off the deep end and basically just kept drinking and almost killed himself by drinking alcohol. He had to go through rehab and basically was not allowed to touch alcohol again, and because if he did, he would die. And the, he made this decision not to ever touch alcohol again because he wanted to be around for his kids. And that's, I'm his son, obviously, so I really appreciate that. He's been sober ever since, which is fantastic. I love it. He since then has married Janine Oriole. She has been fantastic, the best. I don't want to say stepmom, but the best other mom that I could ever ask for. She's been awesome. But back to me real quick. Sorry. Uh, so when my dad was going through rehab, and after my mom had passed, me and my brothers had to go into foster care. I went and lived with a elderly couple, Thelma and Eugene Billingsley. They were fantastic. I mean, they were strict, but at the time, because you're a kid, you just didn't understand it. You just kind of rebelled against it a little bit. But as an adult now, I appreciate all they did. Unfortunately, Gene is no longer with us, but I still keep in contact with Thelma here and there on Facebook. My other sister and my other brother, because me and my older brother, or me and my almost below me brother, me and him went to Thelma and Eugene's. But my other brother and my youngest sister, they went to a foster family with Jody and Rusty Angerson. Um, they took care of them fantastically. Like, I could not have asked for a better support for my sister and brother. Um, they are actually still part of our lives. I'm actually roommates with one of their sons, and Jody and Rusty, they live in an apartment near us. So it's like, they're still part of our family in a big way. Uh, After and during this whole foster care thing, I was dealing with more health issues. I wanted to toward the end of my high school year, I missed my actual graduation from high school for this. I actually had a spine surgery where they basically removed some discs and some ribs to make room for my organs and to trying to help straighten my spine or whatever, which it didn't take the way that they should have. But because of the way the surgery happened, apparently I bit down on the tube and broke it, like the breathing tube. So they had to give me a tracheotomy or tracheotomy. That's the word. So now I have this scar in the middle of my neck that basically showing me like, hey, this is that failed surgery you had. I wouldn't say failed, but not very successful surgery that you had, kind of thing. So after all that, and after I got done healing up, once I hit 18, I went ahead and I moved out of my foster parents' house and got my own place back in Pennsylvania. I lived there for I want to say like a year or so, and then I moved in with my best friend Randall Mervine. Me and that man have been friends since third grade. Like, we're still friends to this day. It's quite insane. What I recommend to everybody out there who is even listening or wanting to pay attention to this, whatever you want to say, if you can maintain a friendship like that, I fully recommend it. He has helped me so much in terms of just about everything. Like, he's been a really good friend, and I appreciate the hell out of him. Um, but me and him, when we were living together, we were both kids still, so it was just like we still had that mindset of being kind of what's the word I'm looking for? We didn't clean up after ourselves that well. I guess what I'm trying to say. So it got to a point where um, I mean, it wasn't that bad. We were still together or we were still in the apartment for a while. We ended up helping out our one friend at the time, a kid named Dimitri. I forget his last name, but we ended up having him um, live with us for a bit, and he our landlord was trying to. So, me step back real quick. Sorry. We lived at this one apartment that was underneath. It was by the same landlord. We ended up finding mold in that apartment, so we went up to the top apartment, and she wanted to try and get more rent out of us because it's a better apartment, but she had mold in the bottom apartment, so we were just trying to fight the fact that we're not going to pay more because it's your fault there's mold down there. Well, it ended up getting to the point where she just didn't care anymore and wanted us out. So, after that, we went to go stay at, because Dimitri had found a place at this point. We went to go stay with him for a bit, and he didn't tell his landlord that we were living with him. So me and Randy had to go live with his grandma, and luckily at the time, Brett and Cora. Brett is my youngest brother. Cora is my youngest sister. I forgot to mention their names. I apologize. Vince is my other brother. He's between me and Brett in terms of age. But me and or Randy went to go live with his grandma for I forget how long. It was a while. And luckily, Jody and Rusty from foster care that were taking care of my sister and Brett at the time, I went to go live with them for a bit. Um, I think I'm gonna leave that story there for now. I do want to continue talking about my life and just trying to do little updates like this. Uh, I promise it will get to a good point. I am just trying to talk about my life and things. Um, Basically, what I'm trying to get at is, I mean, there's obviously a lot more I need to talk about, but the whole purpose of this is I have been through so much, and yet I am still a positive person. Yes, I do have depressive tendencies here and there because back when I was a kid, I had depression, so obviously those are going to leak through even every once in a while. But overall, I'm actually a very happy person. I'm content with some things. I mean, obviously, I want some things to be better. Like, I still don't have a car, and I want a car and stuff, but that's besides the point. All I'm saying is, and I'm gonna make this my focal point basically, is no matter what happens in your life, no matter what, if you have the drive to pick yourself up and brush yourself off and keep going, that is very important. Some people out there, and I won't say names or anything, but some people out there, they need help and they don't want to say anything about it. You definitely need, if you need help and there's no way that you yourself can help yourself, it is not a bad thing to have help from others. It just isn't. Sometimes we all need help. I've had tons of help in my life, and I'm an independent person. I refuse to have help sometimes, but I know when it's necessary. All I'm saying is I have had all these traumatic things. I mean, obviously, I will say more in other videos, but I've had all these issues and all this stuff and stuff. But I am still a positive person. That's just who I am. Nothing can shake that, regardless. So just take it from me. Stay positive no matter what. I know it's hard, but you really need to. And I will see you guys. I might just do one of these a week, but I'll have like I'll keep them on my YouTube just to kind of like structure them out for whoever wants to listen to them. Um, I have notes here of what I'm reading off, but like in general, like these are all just spitfiring from my brain. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you guys next week.